All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna see for these two Google searches, one local and one city level. If either or both of them have BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe, where we take declining boudoir photographers, bring them to help them become the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that, whatever, pinned video, home video, whatever. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. If we're capturing everyone across the entire intent spectrum, business is probably rising. If we're missing people, not getting enough people, business is probably falling. So on the left side, that's what we talk about here, BSS. We're focusing on the highest intent people. This is people searching for boudoir, photo shoots on social search, Google search, things like that, like directly typing it and searching it. And way at the other end, we got our other brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, talking about BLCS. And that's where right now we are only working with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, now we're into BSS, Boudoir Search Sameness. That's what our whole video is about. We're going to see this is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots on Google, on page 1 of Google, dead, because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. So that we can't have that. That's a quick path to our boudoir photography business totally disappearing on us. If we got 1 slot on page 1 of Google, still not good, because every other boudoir photographer also has 1 slot, which means anyone searching is gonna click through everyone's, contact everyone, get a get quotes from everyone, and that means probably 9 other competitors gonna be on page 1 on Google, because organic slots are there's 10 of them. And here we teach the GBC minimum of 3. We actually want to get 3 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google, kind of minimum that we feel that would guarantee we're treading water. We're most likely not disappearing, not declining, or at least treading water, maybe even growing. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's extremely common. Everyone accepts it as normal, but it's not normal. Having that few number of slots on page 1, not normal, is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. There's 2 deeper root causes, which most people know about. The first one, market saturation. Second one, the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses, is the false belief of page 1 equality. So first, market saturation. Yeah, that's seems like new boudoir photographers entering the market every single week. Get a new iPhone, they turn off their Google My Business profile, saying they have for boudoir shoots, turn their website up, kind of chalking up the page 1 Google search, making it more crowded. Or they get a new camera, they're posting them, the mom group saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So that's market saturation. But the number one killer and silent killer boudoir photography businesses I've seen is this false belief of page 1 equality. So that is when we actually believe it's normal to have either 0 or 1 slots on page 1. Every boudoir photographer gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1. That's how it is. And we got more market saturation. Okay, my 1 slot on page 1 is now 0 slots on page 1, 1 slot on page 2. Well, what can you do? Everyone gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1. Wrong, incorrect. I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days. I took as many slots as I wanted using the solution we're going to talk about here. And I feel like people have not looked for a solution or a way to solve this because they didn't even know they were implicitly agreeing with the page 1 false belief of page 1 equality. I feel like most people didn't even know that this belief existed. They kind of just, auto accepted it, maybe didn't have the words for it, but it's actually a false belief. Now, a boudoir photographer with BSS, Boudoir Search Sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Because if we're on page 2 or later of Google, we already know approximately 80% of searchers never seen us. So yeah, we're definitely disappearing. If we only got one slot on page 1, we're also disappearing because there's 9 other slots, probably 9 other competing boudoir photographers. Everyone's going to click through. We're being price shopped against everyone, blah, blah, blah. And so this is kind of the canary in the coal mine to, if this is occurring, eventually the entire boudoir photography business is going to disappear. So we got a solution. BSS is treated with social search saturation, our S-cubed methodology. We invented this, been working on it for about 7 months, finally bringing it to market. And again, this is what I use to go from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google in 10 days. And this is the only thing I've actually seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation. But to use it, we first got to crush the false belief of page 1 equality. So if we accept that as false, then we can use the solution to fight back against market saturation. And it's right in the name, social search saturation. So we're going to saturate social search with the highest intent keywords. And as a result, people, they'll basically only find us when they search for the highest intent keywords for a boudoir photographer, a boudoir photo shoot in their city. And as a result of ranking for those on all the social search engines, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, then that flows and ranks us on higher chance page 1 on Google. And let's say we got a million boudoir photographers and we're in Austin, Texas. A million boudoir photographers in Austin, Texas. Everyone's got a website. Everyone's ranking, but we turn S-cubed methodology up to the max. And dude, we're ranking the first 300 slots of, boudoir photo shoot in Austin on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and that flows. We're ranking the first 300 slots on Google. So that's literally the first 30 pages because 10 organic slots per page. It literally doesn't matter. Those 999,999 other boudoir photographers, if people can basically only ever find us, our business will be growing fine. If people gotta go page 31 on Google search to find another boudoir, another boudoir photographer in our city, we're probably gonna get most of the business, if not all of it, or approximately all of it. So this is the power, kind of half the power of S-cubed methodology. Some more bonus stuff about it at the end. Now, once treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. So we got more than 2. Well, we got 2 or more. Well, at least we don't have 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. We prefer to hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 slots. But for every extra slot we get, we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1 entirely, effectively making them invisible. Because remember, we're focusing on the 80% here, the approximately 80% that do not go to page 2 of Google search. They're page 1 only peeps. So kicking a competitor off, they effectively become invisible to 80% of searchers, the bulk of the market. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So this is our universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page 1, the false belief of page 1 equality. That's fine. We now have a solution, S-cubed methodology. And we achieve page 1 visibility and become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. And that's simply starting the momentum. Can continue the momentum as long as one wants. And, potentially turn this into page 1 domination. So this is my most recent foray into using this strategy. I'm going to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. And AI overview, that's not me. Then we got the Google Map Pack. But here we're looking at the organic. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Or organic slot 2, Instagram, me. Organic slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I got 9 out of 10 slots. Went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots in 10 days. Who's someone coming to if they're searching BLCS Boudoir? That's right. Most likely only me. I got 90% of these slots. And for someone to like catch me, they would have to catch up to me with what I'm doing daily and exceed me what I'm doing daily to even have a chance to start kind of breaking in here. All right, so now we're gonna look at the main event here. Gonna see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for its local search, Vildemar, California, and its city search, Temecula, California. All right, let's check this out. All right, so first search in Vildemar. So here we go. All right, we got 1. Boom, we got 2. Boom, we got 3. Boom, we got 4. Boom, we got 5. All right, we got 6, 7. Sponsor, that doesn't count. That doesn't count for our 10. So awesome. 7 out of 10. This is what we got. This is what we need. How many competitors did they kick off? Up to 6. They ain't being price shopped against no one, or very, very few. They ain't being price shopped against 9, because we already know approximately 80% of Google searches ain't never going to page 2. So 7 out of 10, fantastic. Now we'll look at our city. Closest one there's some Lake Elsinore or something, but I chose Temecula to do the city search, bigger city. So let's see. Let's see how we're ranking here, pulling in people from Temecula. All right. All right, we got 0 in Temecula. So it looks like we're actually we're missing pulling people in from Temecula. So we do got BSS. So we don't have BSS for the local search. That's good. And we also hit the GBC minimum 3 out of 10 for local search. Perfect. But we definitely do have BSS for the city search. We're at 0 out of 10 slots there. And we definitely did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots for the city search. All right, so if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local search, your city local searches, city searches with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you got 0-1 slots for any of them, at least one of them, or you're not reaching the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search for at least one of them, and you've accepted the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. So we can actually take as many slots on page 1 Google search as we want. Then, well, Anderson SQ methodology is the only solution to give you those slots, and it's actually something you've been waiting for. And you're loving the initial benefits, more slots, page 1 Google search, kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1 Google search, relegating them to page 2 or page 3 or deeper, and never actually having to kind of deal with them as competitors anymore, making them disappear to approximately 80% of Google searches, so approximately 80% of the market. And you understand the market saturation, yeah, more peeps buy new gear eventually become boudoir photographers, yeah, they kind of trickle in over time. But you're looking ahead and you're seeing, okay, AI is taking peeps jobs right now, and AI is definitely going to get better and better, so it's going to take more and more peeps jobs over time. And you understand, last time that happened, lots of peeps lost their job. COVID, massive wave of boudoir photographers came into the marketplace. They're like, uh-oh, massive market saturation's coming, and you're realizing you actually need to fortify your position on page 1, which means have so many links that Google wants to rank on page 1 that there's not enough space to rank them all. So you're actually link stuffing page 2, 3, 4 onward, and basically guaranteeing no current boudoir photographer can get onto page 1, and basically no future boudoir photographer that comes after AI takes their job can ever get onto page 1. And you're saying, well, how to get that many links? So you're saying, SQ methodology, that's the only solution. I can give you that fortification. And you're also understanding that when we successfully execute SQ methodology every single day, we're actually creating we're actually creating like these invisible thematic keyword columns that are plugging into our brand, like kind of 360 degrees around our brand. And these are building up back-end keyword AI mindshare for the AI systems, AI searchers out there. And so every day we do this, successfully execute methodology, we're actually increasing the probability that we show up here in AI overview. The most premium placement, we cannot purchase this. And so that's a future benefit of execute methodology. Another future benefit of execute methodology is we are actually higher probability that we show up in AI search. So ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Google, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. And this is huge. Increasing its probability every single day is huge because more and more people using AI search every single day. Last time I did AI search for boudoir photographer in the city, I actually looked and it recommended me 3. So I went to look manually on Google and Facebook. Hey, how many boudoir photographers are actually in the city? Dude, there's like 60. So if AI is only recommended 3, we gotta get there. We gotta have so much back end AI keyword mindshare momentum that AI has to give recommend those positions to us. And you're also like the fact that my current plan is to work with only one boudoir photographer per city. So you're like, you can get all these benefits, but also you can prevent your competitors from getting all these benefits, allowing you to build up a massive like AI mindshare gap, back-end AI keyword mindshare gap for the increased probability of recommended through AI overview and recommended through AI search. And you can actually deny your competitors getting that. So basically you're able to build up a massive gap between you and your competitors and basically make it so big that current competing boudoir photographers can never achieve it or reach it, and future boudoir photographers can never that come in after AI takes their jobs can never catch you. So you decide you're a first mover on this, you can't miss out, and you actually want you're thinking conversely, if some other peeps, if one of your competitors were to get on the sign up with me first, you would actually lose out on all the benefits. Your competitor would begin all these links page 1. I have so many links page 1, there'd actually be overflowing to the future page 2, 3, 4. You would be relegated to page 2 or deeper, and we would obviously have the goal of making you have no chance to ever get to page 1. And then we'd be building a massive keyword, back-end AI keyword kind of momentum, mindshare to get recommended AI overview, Google search, and with all the AI search apps. And for you to compete, you'd actually have to go rederive S-cubed methodology on your own, and you'd never have any idea if you've derived it. Well, you'd have to drive it for your first time for yourself. You'd never know if you successfully 100% derived it correctly. And then you'd have to equal our execution every single day. And if you did that, you'd simply be maintaining the gap that we've already massively built ahead of you. And then once that happens, you would actually have to 2 to 3x our execution every single day to start closing that gap and pulling that back-end AI mindshare away from me and your competitor's brand back towards you. But since you're not even 100% confident you've derived it correctly in the first place, it's hard to put in that much effort, something you're not confident in. And when you actually think about it, you're like, dude, who's got 80 hours per day to do all this stuff? So you decide, screw that. You're actually going to be the first mover in your city, get all these benefits. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. Our DMs are currently closed. The hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, but when we do open our DMs for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify.